is Prince Gibbs. I am your hostess with the mostest. Yes, sir. Thank you. Hold your applause. Thank you. Now, I really do appreciate you guys coming out. And once again, my name is Prince. I'm an intern here at the Blank Bamboo. This space is vibrant with energies and people to meet. This is not the only event that we schedule. We have jam sessions. We have people perform. I think one time somebody performed on the table over there in the kitchen. This is not the only event you guys would like to come through. We have Instagram on the Blank Bamboo, but we also have. Do I plug in house party? That house party though? Yes. Also, so let's see, I've known why since like high school. Everybody here I've met on my journey of life, whether it be through East Side, through freaking Possibility Project, through or even through here, or even just at random, of course, I appreciate and love everybody in this room. So, without further ado, we will bring on our first performer. I was just making sure. His name is Roberto in Love. The mic is yours.
Thank you. What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Good. Hell yeah, I like that. All right, cool. So my real name is Roberto Enamorado. For those who speak Spanish, that means Roberto in Love. So I use that as an alias. Thank you. If y'all want to connect with me on social media, my website roberto.com, all that good stuff. Patreon as well. If you want to support me, greatly appreciate that. So, on a more serious tip, the video that's going to play was inspired when I was babysitting these two kids, beautiful kids, and was there with my best friend. And I know what they were going through, and there was a Gang Starr beat playing in the background, and I was just like feeling inspired, and that was like the first piece that I wrote with the context of taking this to something, whether it be a song, I wasn't sure what, but that opened up this, I don't know what happened over here, but it just kept on happening, and so that was the piece, and essentially, why I think this is important is that given that there's so much friction currently, for whatever reason, for a multitude of valid reasons, I think the hardest thing, unfortunately, I think is like the key, which is how do we get along? And knowing the differences between respect and fear. Sometimes when, for example, you're dealing with a teacher or a parent or whatever the case may be, they confuse the two. And they instill fear into people. And then that comes out when they're in their relationships, when they're at work, when they're managing other people, when they're the boss. Long story short, this is a perpetual problem. And so irrespective of who's in office, whatever you believe in, don't believe in, or your point of view is, you have a lot more power at home. Nobody can tell you how to live your life. And even if it seems that way, you can do your push-ups, take care of yourself. You can make choices. You can decide how you're going to use your words and things of that nature. How you're going to talk to somebody when you're upset, how to gauge all that energy. At the end of the day, I think that is more important, managing yourself. Of course, everything matters. Long story short, this piece is called The Difference Between Respect and Fear. Thank you so much, wife. We really appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for your attention. Oh, the volume. Huh. It's not playing? That music isn't part of the piece. So Roberto. Sounds dope though.
That's my cool jazz thing.
Nice.
Listen to that record though, guys.
Thank you.
Right.
Roberto Enamorado, aka Roberto in Love. Difference between respect and fear. That applies in everything. That applies to the way we treat children, the way we treat our parents, the way we treat our friends. It's a big difference. It's important to distinguish the two. It might seem like a blurry line. Respect. Respect yourself. Learn how to respect everybody else. Learn how to respect your elders, people who are younger. Everybody here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Sometimes you can disagree, but that's okay. It's important to keep an open mind. Get along with others. That's pretty much it. Roberto Enamorado, aka Roberto in Love. Peace, everybody.
Conditioned to blame others, but who has the confidence to help another? In a sick society, where feeling superiority is the priority, putting fault under a microscope, instead take time to cope. Be patient and compassionate to cut the psychological load. Consider starting these changes today. to remain enslaved, indoctrinated in the same. Ego expands while your confidence is slain. You put me through some stuff I may take to the grave. Deep inside, I wish to be strong. I wish to be brave. I was going insane when I was playing this game. But when I have my own and someone else's, I may put them through the same. This is the cycle that many encounter. It doesn't have to be this way. This is not the answer. Abundant dysfunction is part of the upbringing. This is something we should change for a better living. I know it sounds kind of selfish, but it's true. I've convinced myself that what I put you through is good for you. See, I was never taught the difference between respect and fear. So this is the only way I know how to love you, dear. I see you crying inside, crying outside, and crying alone. Someone's too busy BSing on the phone, BSing at home. The beginning of life with no choice we play. Since the beginning, you feel betrayed, getting neglected since the age of 7 days. This is okay the way your family stays. Glassy-eyed child is mutually play. Altruism. When you neglect or abuse your present, you're forced to deal with the torment of the future.
Thank you so much for your attention, and really appreciate you being here, taking a moment to see this. I wanted to know, what are some of your thoughts on the topics that we spoke about? Yeah.
I have more of like a technical, those skills I listen to the rest of
Yeah.
you reverse it?
Yeah, so...
I love stuff like that.
Thank you. Yeah, so the before it was a visual piece, it was, so I performed it, and then I told my friend who produced this piece, Azrael Encarnacion, yo, shout out, thank you so much. Long story short, I was like, yo, why don't you play me speaking backward as I'm speaking forward? And so that way, that represents the vicious cycle.
Right.
So it's circular. So at the very beginning, you're actually hearing the end, and at the end, you're hearing the beginning, and it's a circular thing. Even in the part where we're at the protest, that's also forward and backward as well. Certain pieces are doing that. And so, you know, that combines that experience I had many years ago and that feeling I had knowing what those kids were going through and seeing about the people and what people complain about and what's very real, what's happening. And also thinking like, man, both the macro and the interpersonal are both important. You know, it's not just about the person who's pointing the finger, but also what can you do as well, right? Because there's power in you, and don't disempower yourself by only saying, man, my mom did this or my mom did that. That shit is all real, right? I've been through stuff too. And so by the end of the day, you still have to manage all that energy. And I think ideally, you want to be a better person. And if you've been through stuff, you can see things a mile away that maybe you can help others avoid. Set a better example, you know what I mean? And so it's not easy, but I think it's a simple path and we can all benefit from it. So hence, backward, forward, and here we are full circle. So thank you for the question. Anybody else? And I'd love to hear kind of like, what's your take on?
Me?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it really resonates a lot of it, especially the fact of how it's passed down from generations to generations to generations, to how it's like, you know, it's like a generation curse, kind of, so to speak, neglection and stuff, and we carry that on as adults, and then we do it in our relationships, not only our relationships with our family members and our relatives, but also personally with our lovers, friends, and stuff. It's a cycle. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And really unlearning to relearn that is what I feel like all of us are going through right now. It's just unlearning and just relearning how to be better.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I like the fact that you picked. That's my favorite style, like film. Like Charlie Chaplin kind of film vibe. I have a few questions in one. My bad. I'm gonna try to. What made you choose that? Two, what made you choose? I see that's the Coney Island.
Yeah.
And it looked like I was scared for a moment. It looked like an atomic bomb was gonna blow up.
Kind of has that vibe, right?
Yeah, it was like a really great shot. That was your shot. You took that shot. Cool shot. And then the I don't know that creature with the
Oh, I don't know the name of it.
I don't know the name of that
The
creature.
flower. Yeah.
And what inspired that? Like with that creature, like how did you, why did you choose those images and then also the style of like the old school vibe?
So thank you for that. I actually don't know. Like when I draw, so that don't ask me earlier. Like what is my medium? And I started really it's just self-therapy. Like having problems at home. As a little kid, I would just draw all the time for hours and hours. I would just be there at night and the day. When I became a teenager, I was just drawing on stoops for hours. I'd be in class ignoring the teacher, just drawing. And that was pretty much the beginning of that. And so here, I have content at home and I'm like, okay, well when I'm inspired to create something that's solid, I just grab and take from everything. So I took those pictures years ago. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I just went to Coney Island, took some pictures, experienced that with the kids, and then the protests and all that, and then the pieces you're seeing are part of a children's book. It's a children's book, but it's really for adults to be able to take that book and read it in 2 minutes and think about that. So that way it's a way to meditate, essentially. And then it just happened to be this. Like when I put a pen on a piece of paper, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just like, boop. See what happens, and then it flows out. And so same thing with this. I have the same methodology when it comes to creating content like this. I get on a computer, I decide I want to work on this all weekend, or whatever the case may be. I just sit on a computer, just grab it, and then that's what came out. And it's going to keep on. The next time you see this piece, it's going to be attached to something else, etc. So yeah, man, thank you.
We're gonna find that, and can I have it so I can share on my page? Because I have the same thing in my stories on my IG.
Yeah.
She's been filmed. Does anybody want to follow? Which you should, because it's great plug. Shameless. I like to share. Like there's certain lines from that just just stroked me. I was like reminded me of like the old me, and I kind of have the same kind of thing going on now. That'd be cool if I could just share that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm happy you brought that up.
Yeah.
If for anybody who wants to listen to this. Or wants to share this piece, just type in robertoinlove.tv and it's going to redirect you to the YouTube video.
Okay.
So robertoinlove.tv, boom, and you'll have that, you share it, meditate on it, whatever the case may be. Yes, all right, cool. Oh, yes.
Are we still talking about like what we like about the piece?
Anything. I just want to hear like your feelings, like what's going on, like keeping it organic.
Part of it, the one part that really stuck out to me was just healing the inner child. That's a really big thing.
Ooh, yeah.
Literally, as you go through life, there's so many things that happen to you, and you lose connection to your inner child. And a lot of that has to do with your parents and the connection your parents have with you. Since from they were born, they were always with you. It really is a repeating cycle of literally all of that. So when I saw that, I'm like, interesting, because I've been working on that for myself. It's really hard to reconnect to the parts of you that you felt like you were safe, but you were always harmed, and people always took advantage of you. So I really like that piece. I especially love the reverse. It was taking me a minute to understand what was going on, but eventually I figured it out.
Amazing, thank you for that. All right, cool. So before I move on, I'm gonna just
No,
I'm sorry. You know what?
I'm sorry, no.
No, I was going to add, you had said something that triggered a thought earlier, and sometimes when we think about economics, the cost of something. So for example, the cost of a grape. You take a grape, what does it actually cost? Economically, it might be a cent or two, or whatever the case may be. But what people had to go through to cultivate that grape, the fuel that was spent, right, and how that was extracted from the earth, and how we're all going to breathe that, right? And so, this only cost a few cents. That cent is costing us a lot more in things they're not being measured. How do you measure that? What is the cost of, for example, people go to war, right? And then they come back. If you look at divorce rates, look at that situation among people who are in the military or veterans and what they go through as far as mental health. What is the actual cost of that war? So sometimes we measure these things, oh, it cost X amount of million or billions for whatever. But what about the rest of the effects it has for the next year, the next 5 years, 10 years, 30 years? It's a perpetual problem that doesn't have a price. And so on that note, this following piece is called Foresight and Empathy. I got this feeling churning, working on something, and I got this yearning. Wheels are in motion, so like the world I'm turning. Poetry into rap, rap into poetry. Titles are not slowing me. I let the energy flow in me, flow out of me. What's a capacity when I feel the possibility of probabilities? We stand with gravity, molecularly, subatomically, combining quantum mechanics and general relativity, the human element in this galactic soliloquy. It's you, it's me, it's us, it's we. For a moment of time, skip the theology and scientific theory, indulge in this universal interconnectivity. I don't claim to be a gangster. I don't claim to be a thug. I don't front cuz I never was. But I know what channeling energy does in the wrong direction. No time for protection. Innocent or not, it's only the wrath of reaction. There's no compassion. It will consume you. Nothing is sacred, are you? Going to fight the reality that's being tasted or be disconnected and filled with hatred? Watch as we explode. If we can't let go the demise of humanity, then we implode. Fueling the economy through hyperconsumption, attempts to fill a void that will never be glossing. Big boy toy, soon obsolete, commences the tossing. Labor providers hanging in, barely staying out of the coffin. Screw an enslaving road to El Dorado. Tiene que ser práctico, Roberto Enamorado, putting in a few drops for a better tomorrow. The rebels, we make it audibly legible to reach higher vibrational levels. Raise the decibels. I'm going to throw boulders, but I'm starting with pebbles. Was on my way to being another young, locked up devil. From the parental, driving me mental. So now I'm obsessed with changing my environmental. Revving up with New York speed. I got my foot to the pedal, turning. Poetry into rap. Rap into poetry. Titles are not slowing me. I let the energy flow in me, flow out of me. What's a capacity when I feel the possibility of probabilities? We stand with gravity, molecularly, subatomically, combining quantum mechanics and general relativity, the human element in this galactic soliloquy. It's you, it's me, it's us, it's we. For a moment of time, skip the theology and scientific theory, indulge in this universal interconnectivity. I strive to be nicer than nice, nicer like twice, thrice, with more flavor than the kilo of spice. Quanzac, Saturn, tougher than tough, acting to acting, www.robertoandlove.com. But I'm pissed off with these words I'm packing. Raw and organic, unlike your saccharin. Between injuries, I fought disease and I bounced back in the face of many, extracting and retracting information in GDP, but the planet's health, it's not factored in. Incorrect grammatically, but more relevant than your school's itinerary. As a matter of fact, more factual than the excrement from your radios and TVs. Commercial methodologies, whack as the populace gets abused by honey smacks. The culture is jacked, black, fat, can't steal from the many, then play jacks, run back and burn tracks, hide behind suits and murder you with your own tax. Money, grip, crashing your set, shifting trajectory, wiping you out like meteors. Burned libraries, illegal books, disappearing links, suppression of medias, vilified slaves, misery profiteering, commodified planet, alternative logic from medias. Turning poetry into rap. Rap into poetry. Titles are not slowing me. I let the energy flow out of me.
What's a capacity when I feel the possibility of probabilities? We stand with gravity, molecular, the subatomic, the combining quantum mechanics and general relativity, the human element in this galactic soliloquy. It's you, it's me, it's us, it's we. It's you, it's me, it's us, it's we. It's you, it's me, it's us, it's we. For messages of peace to manifest in unity. Critically proceed intuitively. The new cool will have to be foresight and empathy.
Hello again, everyone. So give it up for Roberto in love, my God. Yes. Just a little quick tip. We have vegan tacos and soup made by Ayano. I also personally put some like chef spices in the popcorn if you like, sprinkle, try that. Get a little sprinkle, a little salt there, you feel me? We also have drinks coming over here. We have pre-rolls, AIDS. We also have some lemonade, beer, wine. We have sangrias, yes sir. You just have to use the cash app now. As you can see, I'm wearing a bleach shirt. That's one thing about me, I'm also a big anime fan, but enough about me. Let's get to this next performer. We have The Whisper. Round of applause. The floor is yours.
It's okay. Hey guys, I'm The Whisper, aka Alexia. So, I've been working on myself and I've been doing a lot of work, shadow work, if anyone knows what that means.